Well, we can sort of pretty much put that in, blame COVID for that. So prior to COVID, the differential in price between heavy fuel oil and low sulphur or marine distillate was about, $200 plus, even $300 a tonne at the height. That differential is now down to about 80. So whereas people were tempted to buy and install a scrubber at circa $2 million installed, it's now currently cheaper for them to just run on marine distillate or low sulphur fuels. I think they're all missing a trick in as much as the real benefit to fitting a scrubber was not just the ability to run on cheap, dirty fuel, but it was also the reduction in pollutants to the air. So not only the black soot issue, which it helps with, but also CO2. So with scrubbers burning HFO, you actually emit lower CO2 into the atmosphere. If you run on marine distillates or low sulphur, the CO2 is actually higher, which is something that's not generally reported in the press. Mm. I think first and foremost, our product is the only one on the market that's actually been developed from scratch by a maritime manufacturer of now 37 years. What happened to originally the first players in the market who got the lion's share initially, they were just buying third-party instrumentation, whether it be a turbidity probe or UV fluorescence type monitor, bolting them together. But these products are land-based, not really suitable for the environment in which they're operating. And that environment is not only hot, there's lots of vibration, generally salt-ridden, and the crew have very little free time to maintain a piece of equipment that's not a proven, reliable maritime instrument. It measures the turbidity of the incoming wash water and also the outgoing wash water. It measures the PAH, which is the phenolphthalein equivalent. So the hydrocarbons that the scrubber takes out of the exhaust gas are essentially dissolved components. So they can't be detected using conventional, scatter-based instruments such as a bilge alarm. They're soluble. And they can only really be detected by certain ultraviolet wavelengths. Now in our case, the selection of the wavelength and the filters that we use are quite critical because again we're trying to avoid any false positives because there could well be other chemicals in that water that are undesirable and would normally be detected by a simple UV type monitor. We also have to detect the pH on a continuous basis because there are limits on the acidity of the water that can then be discharged. So naturally, during the conversion process of seawater, titanium and so on, the resultant water is highly acidic and that would be a danger to marine life. Yeah, there's a lot of misconception again in the industry and interpretation rules and regulations, and so much so that we wrote a white paper on scrubbers and entitled To Scrub or Not to Scrub. So again, I'd encourage you to download that from the website. In the case of our own ESM product, as we named it, we designed it originally to be a full control system, so it could control the scrubber system. It can record all the data, so that's an option for various owners. Alternatively, it will just feed in via Modbus 485 into any of the scrubber makers' control systems.